All right, so this is me and James back, Roman Peterson, James Parker. I'm reporting from Agartha. James is from London, Third Eye region. This is Unboxable. This is our fourth episode. We're gonna try to churn these out as much as we can. I got a Band-Aid, got some terminal cancer cut off my face or something. Uh, Pretty much what happened is that I woke up in the middle of the night when I was down in London. James was injecting some weird ass serum in my fucking face, and I just now went to the doctor and got the shit figured out. So I don't know what was that shit.
Nah. I'll tell you the truth of the story, truth of the matter. What really happened is obviously we're out in London and we're out in the pubs one night. Roman had a bit too much to drink and he ended up falling on the side of the pavement. Smacked the side of his face on the concrete on the curb. And got infected. Obviously fell into a heroin needle or some shit that was on the side of the pavement. Ended up having to get that taken out, removed. Bit of metal inside there. So yeah. He's all good now.
Yeah, we all know you're lying. We get it, you're lying. But I did fight a taxi driver. Technically, I fought a taxi driver when I was down in Rome, Italy, because James got me into a fight with
Uh,
someone someone who was yelling at when I wasn't doing nothing. I had to fucking get this dude off me, man. I had to hit him with a good leg kick, good switch deep in the chest.
yeah, well, it's an interesting story. Well, I mean, in the end, the buddy came out with a motherfucking screwdriver trying to attack your bitch. Like that's literally how you know. You literally gave him this quick switch to you, gave him a little fucking leg kick. I think he came through with a little jab or something as well. Then buddy went straight in to go and get the screwdriver. But no,
Yeah, yeah, Buddy came at me without a weapon at first. Based pure off his physical size. Realized quickly that his striking was outmatched. Probably would have got out grappled. I don't know what went through his head. He obviously didn't know how to fight. I landed a couple strikes on him. Nothing rude, just little warnings. And then he had to go get a fucking weapon. Went and got that screwdriver. James is still just fucking sitting there watching. You
no, dude,
know?
I was just laughing because at the same time, like, yeah, you say it was my fault, but the crazy part is I don't really remember even what happened. Like, I don't even know what I was doing, but the brother came straight out and started going towards you. I was like, you're bigger than me, bro. Like, if you're pulling out of the taxi, like trying to pick a fight, like, I don't know, maybe he's feeling strong that day or something. Like, surely he's gonna come do some bullshit to me, especially if I was the one that screaming at him or some shit. Came straight coming towards you. I was just
He don't
standing.
like fucking he don't like brown people, dog. That was what it was. Let's be real.
I heard the Italians saying that apparently they're not white. So
They was the Italians were saying they're not white.
yeah, apparently so. I heard some Italian people saying they're not white. So I don't
Like
know.
their skin is definitely white.
Yeah,
Like I don't know what white denotes exactly. Like black can denote a race for some reason, a racial category in the USA. But white, that's like it's not a racial category necessarily, no, but they would definitely be described as white skinned. No one's gonna say them some Negroes.
yeah, for sure. Nah, but I was literally there. Like I was just telling Buddy to just like stop because obviously if I knew what was good for him. Like I was just literally there. I was like, dude, you don't want to be doing this. Like, that was really gonna end bad for him. Then what did Buddy try to do? Try acting big man, come around, grab a screwdriver, gets back in his taxi and starts trying to call the police. Me and Ron, we were like, fuck, dip this out of there, duck down, got some good lemon. The brother thought we were gonna get some beer. Told me we got the lemon.
What you talking about? You done it. Pretty much is James jaywalked, dude got mad, started yelling at James. James started yelling back, and it escalated. We don't go out starting fights. I don't go out starting fights. I pretty much turned and the dude was in my face. And after fucking watching 95 YouTube and fucking Instagram reels of people getting one shot KO'd when they're right in there in fucking punching distance, I turned around. He was in that distance. So, I had to get him off me, man. Can't let you get close, motherfucker.
Get close.
Exactly, dude. At that point, it was just self-defense. So we don't advocate for anything. We're comedians, once again. That also happen to be super geniuses, but that's a different discussion. That actually masquerade truth and facts with saying it's comedy, so don't get in trouble. But yeah, we're comedians. That was all comedy as well. Everything's a fucking joke. The biggest joke is the client list is coming out. Well, the Epstein client list, I don't even think it was released. There's something that was released about it. And there's so many different like media outlets trying to play off like that Trump was not involved. or just the other side or not even saying anything because like Hillary Clinton, Prince Andrew, and all them fuckers are on it. So they're just silent. One side's acting like their fucking party it wasn't involved when he's clearly involved. I have the fucking flight logs. Like I have the shit before the shit was released when there was the first like they released those first like 90 pages or whatever with different names that flew with Epstein. Like Trump is on there 3 times. So even let's say he never went to the island, he's still hanging out with a pedophile. And I don't hang out with any pedophiles. You know what I mean? I don't unknowingly either hang out with any pedophiles. Like no one's a fucking sneaky pedophile. You don't just have a sneaky pedophile friend. That ain't a fucking thing.
No, that shit was larger than obviously what it's made out to be. But what's funny? Obviously, like what it's become, and obviously this list is getting released, and it's almost like the way it rolls out, like the whole thing's suspicious. Really, obviously we know the bullshit, but you know how it's like they're teasing it. It's like the list is getting released, and it's like a build up. It's like a movie premiere or some shit. It's like you've seen the first bit, now the list is getting released, and there's all this going on. It's like who's releasing the list? Who's had the list this entire time, and why is it only getting released now?
Fuck that list, bro. There's 900 other fucking Epsteins, and there's 9 million other fucking Epstein Islands, bro. They're fucking harvesting everyone. It's not,
Okay.
like just because they throw one little incident forward and fucking highlight it, that doesn't mean that shit's not happening everywhere. I don't give a fuck about Epstein. I never gave a fuck about Epstein. That shit was apparent before. Like they put it in their fucking movies and shit. Like they symbolize it all over. Like Justin Bieber posts pictures of babies before his last album, putting yummy. Um, just different things like that, alluding to it. And it's kind of like them power tripping as well as like throwing out to the other vampires, like, hey, look at me, dude. I'm a fucking idiot freak show that fucks kids, dude. Like, I don't. And then the only logical way that makes sense is if it's giving these niggas straight superpowers.
Yeah, well, obviously, like, there's definitely benefits they're getting off it. I saw recently there was a study they did on rats, where if you inject an older rat with like the fucking, I don't know, the blood or the fucking chromosome or some shit from a younger rat, it can regenerate, like it can prolong their life. So they put a study out that they're doing it on rats, and obviously you can, what was it, anthropomorphize or some shit where you can like generalize something to do with like another animal. So it's like if you can do that with rats, like let's not start playing about like will be doing that as well. So that's where the idea of something like obviously adrenochrome or something comes in, where they're being harvested because they know what's happening. They know they're fucking sinning against everything that's righteous. So they know they've got their time and they know what's really coming. So they're trying to elongate that time they do have as long
They're
as
trying to Elon Musk that time.
yeah, yeah, literally. But it's also at the same time, like imagine, you know how we feel and obviously what they've been doing to the earth and literally like how they've been fucking it over. It's like how could you do and act out more of a bigger fuck you than literally like our newborn life, like the future generations, the future people, like raping and fucking torturing like our children. Like there isn't a bigger sin or a bigger fuck you to the world and to humanity and to like all prosperity than doing that. There's literally I couldn't think of anything worse. And they know that as well.
Well, you got to realize that there's some niggas out here eating fried chicken without hot sauce. So there are bigger fucking fish to fry at the end of the day. There are bigger things and more. There's actually things the cops should be reporting to. Like, who gives a fuck about that shit, bro? Like, for real, there's people out there fucking blowing through stop signs.
No, no, you're right. But obviously over here in the UK, we ain't really got any fried chicken or hot sauce. We just got straight fish. We just got straight beans. We got straight fucking chips. That's what we
Hey,
do.
I was over there, motherfucker. Don't you lie to me. You got
Now,
Negroes. You got Negroes over there.
yeah, no, we do. To be fair, we got a strong Indian community. Obviously, Roman came over. We introduced him to the special Bengal fish curry, which is a staple over here in the UK, and he really enjoyed it. We
Yeah,
we
it's weird.
no, we
It's
had
weird because in Europe, they use like Indian immigrants to fill their lower class like working positions, like it's like such as landscaping or like restaurant jockeys and things like that, just like the US uses South American and Mexicans to fill our lower place worker units, labor positions, other things of that nature. And that was interesting to me to see how that economic practice is always ever present anywhere in first worlds.
But yeah, you can see how it developed as well. So, say for instance, in England, at the time of the empire, they went over to India and created the East India Company, and essentially went over there and imposed their system or whatever over there. And now you look at it today, and you see obviously they've been over there, and a lot of them have come over. And we saw it in Rome as well. Even in Italy, I was shocked, where a lot of like the restaurants you go into, the people serving were like Indian people, right? So they go over to somewhere like that and be like, oh, this is great, we're improving you. And before you know it, most of their people are just working the shitty ass jobs over in the UK that people don't want to do. And you're just there like, oh, and it's the same. Obviously, like Roman's like Mexican, obviously he's Congolese and Chinese.
Nah, so here I'll actually let him in on why I can say nigga, 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 nigga. So I lived in Mexico. My dad actually still lives in Mexico. That lived in the US a little bit, but never really. They've always lived in Mexico. My whole side of the family lives in Mexico, and my mom's side is in the US. So they're white, and my dad's side is indigenous Mexican. And if you know anything about real history, you would know indigenous Mexican is black, and you would know the Spanish word for black object is Negro, and that's what they call the indigenous Mexicans, because the Spanish conquered Mexico with the conquistadors. They didn't go to America, you dumbass nigga. Also, the Native Americans, there's Indians. Black people are Indians. There's no boats. They didn't fucking bring people over on boats. That's not even economically viable. You're not going to ship millions of fucking people on boats to do slavery when there's millions of people here for slavery. It was just a land power grab, change their identity, blah, 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 But indigenous people who like still have their roots and talk to their family and it goes down, they know that. Like a lot of black people can tell you what Indian they are. There's a Autochton. If you really want to get into it, it's a Autochton Indians that were redefined and reclassified through the U.S. Census Bureau as Black, Negro, all these different things, but they're just Native American. They're Indian. They were here. All that shit's bullshit. It's all bullshit. Mexican, they're all part of the Olmec Empire. Incas, Aztec, Mayan. Aztec Empire went all the fucking way up to Alaska, bro. All the Indian tribes were linked up like it was all kind of a thing, bro. They're all black.
Yeah.
Mexicans are mixed. Mexicans are mixed between white and black. And if you want to take it a step farther, you can look at the studies scientifically that came out of Nazi Germany that are not now scientifically backed in our universities. There's 3 races. Do you know what those 3 races are?
Nah, go on.
There's Negroid, Caucasoid, and Mongoloid.
I heard of them. Wait, so expand.
That's it. There's Mongoloid is. A Chinaman, you know.
Yeah.
Caucasoid is from the Caucasus Mountains. Mongoloids are Chinaman from Mongolia. Caucasus are from Caucasus Mountains. They're white, and Negroids are black. Everywhere that the sun is really strong,
Yeah, so obviously in your case, you're 100% Chinese, 100% Congolese, so you'd be a Mongoloid Negroid.
Well, actually, Mexicans mixed with Mongoloids, so a lot of Mexicans look Chinese a little bit for that reason. So actually, I have like all 3 of them. If you want to be, because I have the most indigenous Mexican by far, Aztec.
Yeah, for sure. But
so that's why I can say nigga, because I am a nigga. If you're not a retard and you know the fucking history and you know how this goes, I'm just mixed. That's why that's why I say nigga, man. Hey, if you got something, if you also don't think I should say nigga, why don't you run up and tell me I can't?
Yeah, that taxi driver learned. You might not want to do that. But no, see, the thing is, you look back at the history and obviously the words, obviously the word Negro for black, that's where the origin of the word comes from. And then you look at it just like geographically, like historically wise, there's a reason that people in South America speak Spanish or Portuguese, because those were the people which came over to the area. Okay, so obviously there were people there, and then where that word comes from, which is a Spanish word, obviously as you've explained, that's what they call those people. Like you just put 2 and 2 together,
Yeah, if you just can make sense of things without being a fucking idiot and just listening to the government. Another thing I want to go over about the N-word pass is I think that white people who grew up rough or did more should be able to say nigga and deserve the N-word pass more than black people who have been pampered and haven't done shit. Let me tell you why. The whole N-word pass and the reason why white people can't say N-word is because they weren't put through the atrocities, and you know what I mean? And they didn't have to undergo those hardships of slavery and whatnot. So they can't say nigga. And it's because they used to call them niggas. It was bad, you know? So that's kind of like you don't deserve to say it. So why would a nigga that's never been in slavery, that grew up on his fucking mom's house, living downstairs, playing Fortnite, eating fucking Doritos, hasn't fucked a bitch, he's 25 years old, no college degree, no high school degree, doesn't have a fucking inch of fucking intellect in his head. He deserves to say nigga, but that white guy who fucking grew up in the ghetto that can't, you know, if it's a deserved thing, you know, you guys are pushing participation trophies now, you know what I mean? Like the nigga pass is just a participation trophy. I got these, you know, I think it should have more merit, dog.
No, I agree with you, by the way, because it's like, you know, obviously it's turned into such a race thing that I think it's more of like a typology, like a type of who you are, right? So, you know, people can be like, you can be very narrow-minded and be like say for instance, like there could be a black person, right? So say like you're white or you're black or whatever. So say I'm white. There could be a white person, like say he's like the president or some shit. We could give an example who is far less beneficial for you and your people than say like a white person. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like just because that person's of the same race or this looks the same in terms of your skin doesn't mean that they've got this like the best for you. It's more of like a typology. I see it as. It's like it transcends race altogether.
One of the realest niggas I've ever met is James. He's white.
That's listen. That's fact. You know, Roman.
And that's it. That's all I got. That should sum it up. Black people they know real niggas that ain't black, and they know some bitch niggas that you know and that's just that shit's stupid, man. This shit's gonna be called "Who Has the N-word Pass?" Dog. That's the episode title.
Yeah.
Who has the N-word pass, dog? We went from spiritual enlightenment and
You know
fucking
what?
esotericism.
I don't even think it's like, but that is really. I don't even think it's a case of like, do you get the pass or not? I feel like you know in yourself whether you got the right or the pass to say it. It's like if you be going somewhere and be like thinking about like, oh, this it's one of them ones where nah, dog, like that shit should just roll off the tongue on some shit. Like you shouldn't really be there thinking about it. Like
I
shouldn't really,
never do.
yeah, it shouldn't
Well,
even.
universally though, it's Mexicans always have the N-word pass. You know what I mean?
I
Like
mean,
that's always been understood.
yeah, but I mean for good reason. Like, I came over to the States to see you, and back there every time we were driving in the car, there must have been a couple Mexicans like digging up the road doing something. It's like if they ain't got the right to say.
Oh yeah, not only that but also because they is half niggas. The only reason they're not is because they're raped by Spanish people, or they bred with Spanish people, so they're mixed. You know what I mean?
I've got a question for you. So obviously you say Mexican people got the pass. What about that? What about that Mexican man Takashi 6ix9ine? He been running that off. You think he got the pass to say that shit?
I mean, based off of if we're giving the N-word based off of merit, I don't think that nigga's done enough construction work to be able to say the N-word. I don't think that he's put enough man hours in, bro. I'll be real
I,
with you. Maybe he put a couple 16s in out at the fucking oil patch, nigga, then yeah, you could throw it around.
no, I think the only work he been putting in is in the police service, snitching, fucking talking, bro. But either way, you know what I'm saying. He's one of them ones that you look at and it obviously makes you wonder. It's like how do these people become the ones which are like popular and famous? It's like the literal like worst. Like listen, like there's a time and a place for that sort of music. Don't get me wrong. Like I listen to all types of music, but it just when it becomes the case that something like that is what's like the popular thing, and like how does that even happen, and why does that?
You know the music industry forever and ever, dude. Even back in radio has been tied with money laundering and tied into like illegal gang activity forever. So, for instance, back during the mafia's big reign, the Italian mafia in the U.S., when they're pretty much as powerful as the government, like before the government went in and really cracked down on it, they had a lot of artists signed, and what they would do is just jack up radio plays and streams and sells and stuff like that. It's a way to money launder. And one of the reasons that you'd hear like on radio back in the day when you were a kid, little samples of like a 6 second song that's gonna be played like in a couple songs. Do you remember that? On the radio,
Yeah.
it'd like it'd be like play like three songs, like 6 seconds each, and be like, this is 96.8 fucking, you know, that's because the radio waves every 5 seconds, if a song is played for 5 seconds on the radio waves, it's counted as a billboard play. So it's literally they were money laundering even through the radio stations and the radio business. It's always been done that. Like you look at this fucker 6ix9ine, he's even way more of a hack because they say Treyway. Trey is three. What is his other what is he saying there?
Well,
This nigga's saying 369, bro. He's saying Treyway. Trey 369, and he's literally has rainbow color. He's literally like a whole hack, like of a human, a hack himself. He's a rainbow. He literally appeals everything psychologically within the youth. Like different colors appeal to things psychologically. He literally appeals to everything with that rainbow color. That's what Sean O'Malley does too. Not to mention that he has the 369 Nikola Tesla hack, the key to the universe. He says Treyway, like this dude's literally a whole fucking hack in the system. He's also Mexican, which is like every fucking race if you really like dive into it,
yeah, that's what we were just talking about. So it's interesting you say that the three races, Treyway, and what he is, and obviously you got the rainbow.
He's a whole hack, bro, by the government. He's been a hack, bro. And just like the Bloods and Crips, like the big ones, they work with the government, you know. Like a lot of there's an artist, one of the only artists that I'll take half of his stuff and believe, and his name is Daylight. He wrote for Drake. Ghost wrote for pretty much everybody. He's like the best writer ever. He's the best battle rapper ever. He's the best battle rapper in the world. He's now signed to TDE, but he says like that in his hood, like in California, that all the FBI like had all of their big homies like on payroll, like working with them to keep undermining like the youth and the next generation and to keep throwing people under and snitching. So literally it's like the gang leader works with the government to keep putting his disciples in prison and misleading them and tell them to shoot shit up. And you know what I mean? Like the government is straight entangled
Oh,
deep into the hoods.
yeah, but you can understand it as well. It's like, imagine if you're from the hood, right, and you ain't got no money, no prospects, right, and you say you're screaming fuck the government, saying no to their fucking offers to sell your soul, whatever. You're gonna get a bitch ass arrested, or you go and work with them, get more money than you could ever possibly have imagined, and live a good life. Get freedom from being put in jail, like literally be above the law. And people don't think about, you only have your own life. Like no one's gonna live your life apart from you. And you don't know what's gonna happen afterwards. So you've only got one life. You think, fuck it, I might as well live it good. And then before you know it, you're corrupting the next generation. And obviously something like drugs, right? And drugs is the most lucrative like uh like part of the economy in the entire world. Like it's completely under the books. There's no tax. The money in it is actually absolutely ridiculous. It's like obviously there's all these businesses and whatnot. It's like if you've got the goal of making money and you want to make a lot of money, say you're like the government or whatever, like the drug trade is the like greatest form of like money making that you could literally do. It's under the books and the market is like billions of fucking pounds. Billions. It's fucking
Yeah,
retarded.
because people are addicted to it. Like so much so that they forget what they actually need in life, that they blow everything on that.
Yeah, but there's obviously some reasons for it as well. Like we can think of it, and I was thinking of it just in terms of like the words that we use to describe it. So you call it getting high, right? So and obviously the goal is to be high within like naturally, just within yourself, like reaching a higher state inside of your head, like being higher inside your mind instead of being a dickhead, like thinking with your dick being the one that's thinking with you. It's the idea of rising up within your body and being high. So when you take these drugs, you get high, but it's like, why do you need to take something to get high? Like you should just be feeling high. So obviously the natural state, which we know very well in today's world, is a very low vibration, low energy. So you need to take things to get high. So obviously then it becomes a point, you know, a lot of artists, you know, the ones that we like and we listen to and that people do, or even like some of the greatest geniuses that you've read or you've heard, you know, they're dabbling drugs. They've taken ayahuasca, they've taken DMT, they smoke weed, they've done this, they've done that, because you can access a higher state of mind. But the fact that you even need to take those things to access that state of mind in itself, I just almost wonder whether the fact that you have to take them to get high just tells us a lot about where we are in the world, that we're so low that we need to, like, all these chemicals that we use, that we like take when we take the drugs, they're already inside of you, right?
The intellect and the light was drained, taken, privatized, secretized by a group of people. So when the substance was removed, people still need that higher yielding substance they fiend for, which is like intellect, knowledge, higher vibrations. But when it's removed and privatized through esoteric groups and cults and secret people that try to rule the world and shit and hold knowledge, they give everyone else shitty substance to replace the real substance. So when you don't have any substance, you go get substance. And when your ass is dry and you're boring as fuck and you don't have no substance, and you bring a bitch over, I hope you got some substance around, like some wine or something, because your ass ain't gonna be entertaining her.
Yeah,
Your bitch ass.
but it's even the fact that, like, imagine this, bro. Like, people can't even, you see like a whole idea of Netflix and chill and bring a bitch over and you got to have this and that. It's like people can't even get a bitch round and sit in the same room as her without having a external source of something to focus on. Like, but God forbid that you get a female to come over and you be sitting in a room and with dead silence with only your own self to entertain her. Like, you need to put a movie on to entertain the bitch and hope that you might be able to slide into her panties when she ain't looking. Like, that's literally the whole idea of Netflix and chill. Like, if you didn't have a TV on that, and it's like, how are you really going to do that? And it's like, yeah, you've got to get the wine, you've got to smoke, you've got to do this. It's like everything's seeking something external. But then obviously the goal is to reach that higher state of mind without taking these things. Because at the end of the day, you're right, they're just like it's just an imitation, and it's just like a substitute for the actual thing. Like, imagine every single drug that you take all at once, just naturally occurring in your mind after reaching this state. It would literally be like the greatest euphoria that could possibly exist.
Yeah, and you can get it endogenously. You don't have to seek it outside of your body.
Exactly.
Uh,
That's the whole point. And then it's not just become that, it's become a fucking lucrative business, which is the most lucrative business at selling things which addicts you and completely fucking lures you away because you become reliant on this substance and it detaches you from reality. And then you keep needing to have it, and it's destroying your health and it's doing this. It's like such an adverse thing where people still feel the need. It's like, if you feel so low, like, suicide is very simple. You just live a life where your pain greatly exceeds any like happiness or pleasure that you have. So if you just keep feeling so low, you need to feel
and
high.
you're a pussy.
Yeah, you need to feel high sometimes just to continue living. So people will get high and they'll work 5 days and then go and get fucked up and get high, do whatever, because you need to feel high sometimes just to justify your life continuing. I feel like that's what most people, that's like the psychology of what goes through it.
But I know a lot of people from the US that's killed themselves, but I don't know anybody like back in Mexico that my family knows or anything like that that killed themselves. And they fucking kill you for water down there. So you niggas is just bitches.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there. It's
They
just,
got food, water, shelter, family here, peace. You could walk outside without getting fucking shot. Everything. People just forget to be grateful. That's really what it is.
they don't forget to be grateful. They have no historical knowledge of how they got to this point. They just think, it's just like problems. Like, they wake up and like something's, I've got anxiety, Mark, I've got anxiety, something's, it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. They're not being grateful.
yeah,
Anxiety and gratefulness occupy the same portion of the brain. So when you're being grateful, anxiety cannot be going off because they're literally the same triggers in the brain. That's what I meant. That's literally what I meant by that. It's literally replaces it. So if you have anxiety, that section of the brain is being triggered. It's because you're a fucking retard and you're not grateful.
yeah, no, that's completely true. I mean, I suppose it's like, suicide is one of them ones where it's like, the only
Bro, if you blow your
time
fucking brains out,
on your hands if you be killing yourself. Like, Really, like you shouldn't even be having time to think about doing that shit. Like,
Nigga, if you blow your brains out and you got water in the fucking water in the sink, food in the fucking fridge, you got some heat, and you got some family or some people that you love, then do it.
maybe,
Something went wrong, nigga. So the wiring went wrong, dog. That's all I gotta
no,
say.
no,
That's
no.
some shit with you, dog. That
Maybe the wiring didn't go wrong because maybe the idea is we don't want them things. Like as a race and as a peoples, maybe we need struggle, maybe we need danger, maybe we need violence, maybe we need it. It's like when you've got all the things that you thought that you wanted, that's when you realize, you ain't got nothing to work for. It just becomes meaningless, it becomes soulless. And then at that point, you're just like,
a
nah,
pussy.
yeah, but then, yeah, but then it becomes in yourself where you got to find, it's like, okay, you've got everything there. It's like, okay, how am I going to solve this? What am I, it's not just a case of we need to go and find, like, when everyone's got it, it's a weird situation, but at the
I
same,
know, bro. I'm a comedian though, bro. I'm fucking around a little bit, dude. I think you gotta die 7 times before you can get to the real layer of inception, anyways. So on off the record, blah blah blah, Kashik record. I'm a comedian.
cash it record.
Yeah, I'm a comedian, man. But yeah, yeah, there's a couple different ways you can go out. I mean, I think the most honorable way is by swallowing a pickle lengthwise,
Mm, lengthwise.
like a intact pickle lengthwise. You know what I mean? Like a good,
Oh, okay.
any other way is fucking it's dishonorable death. You fucking put schmutt on your family name. Maybe if someone drowns himself in a mayo relish mix, there's a little bit of leeway that could be had if you give your sister's butt up to the squad.
It's, I know many people they get very mad because their sister is a thought. Imagine that. Imagine having a sister. Imagine your sister was a thought. I feel sorry for you, buddy. Something went wrong there.
Dude,
That's the only thing that would make me think about killing myself.
if I think about I know some people, dude, that I grew up with, that I went to school with, in Wyoming and the U.S. And one of them, like their sister was a whore dog. Like I mean, 3 ways, sucking dudes off in the fucking bathroom at the school, like just like a whore, bro. And I don't know how this dude gets through his days, man. I really don't. Like your sister's out there, bruh, looking for something that she never found. And as your family member, you gotta go fuck her.
You gotta give what she's been missing, man.
Yeah, you gotta fuck her really good. The only way to make sure your sister's not a whore is to fuck her so good that she don't need dick no more.
You don't
So
need
here's a little advice for you boys out there. If your sister's a whore, make sure you dick her down really well. She ain't gonna be out looking for dick.
Yeah, make sure she's coming straight home from school, buddy. Otherwise, she's gonna find her way down that next alleyway and you don't know where she gonna be going.
And if it's a black dude's house, you might as well just get with that suicide.
Yeah. Don't even write a note. We know what happened, buddy. We know what was going on. Don't leave a note.
Yeah, she'll come back dead too when she's split in half.
Yeah, she'll be there. Nah, she will have lost any value that she had instantly. So obviously that's pretty.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, though, James.
What them headphones that you got?
No, the Jews.
The juice, the
The
jewels,
Jews.
the jewels.
Yeah, dude, I don't fuck with their wigs, dog. I don't fuck with it. You ever see them wigs they wear?
You know what? I've never seen like an Orthodox Jewish person. I never saw one, but on the flight back when I came to the States on the way back home, there was an Orthodox family of like Jewish people that came on there and they were all in like their little things. And I remember seeing it and I'd never seen it before. And honestly, I remember just looking and it was kind of like creepy. I don't know, but what do you think?
You think snatching a Jewish nigga's wig off is like snatching a black bitch's weed? You
Nah,
think it's comparable? You think a Jewish dude would respond like a black woman?
hell no. A black woman will come try, come try on some smoke. I don't know if a Jewish guy would
I
have.
think the black woman would probably try to fight you right there, and the Jewish guy would probably got to go like short your stock if you owned a business or something like that, you know?
I mean, yeah, it depends, what you've got. Depends what I ain't even playing on some shit. It depends what means of revenge you got available to you. You get a black woman, she might really come try to press your ass. Like, sometimes revenge comes in different forms, and people that are resentful and people that are revengeful, you might just find out they take over the world and they really start fucking over your ass and putting you into a box. And before you know it, you don't even realize it.
So pretty much what he's saying is any black bitch or Jewish guy, just knock them the fuck out because they just create problems. So just knock them the fuck out. Any black bitch or Jewish guy. Fuck it. Let's add South Koreans on that list. South Koreans below the age of 14, I feel like have been a fucking problem for us. They own the banks. They gotta own the fucking banks, dude. Nobody ever checks up on them Samoan niggas either, dog. Them niggas suck to shit, I swear to God. They done monopolized the whole well blubber industry.
I'll tell you what, you're onto some shit here, bro. You need to start brainstorming some of these ideas like properly. Start doing
Oh,
something.
they'd kill me. They'd kill me. There's a 11-year-old South Korean that's really high in power. His name's Jing, and this motherfucker does not like me, dog. He's sent like 10 hits on my head in the last couple of years just because I called him out. I said his Pokemon collection was shitty, dog, and it just fucking went up from there, dog. But I'm gonna stand on business if he pulls up.
Nah, dude. I don't even think it was that. I think he plays Yu-Gi-Oh instead. I think he was felt disrespected about the fact.
He actually might be West Korean or East or something like that. I forget. But either way, dude, I don't get what the big problem is, bro. I accidentally killed your mom in a fatal hit and run drunk car crash fucking 5 years ago. Get that shit out of your fucking head. You were young. I know your fucking legs don't work from the waist down, but it's fucking bullshit. You're holding these grievances on me, nigga.
Yeah,
Fucking vendetta.
that's facts, man. Any suffering that happens to you, just make sure you don't seek revenge in the world. Just take it upon yourself and just take it on the chin, son. Just take that shit on the chin.
Take it on the chin, man, because you never know. One day I was just walking down the street, right? I was going to fucking Walmart. They have a clearance rack in Walmart. I'm sure you guys know this. It's 25, 35% off there. And I have this thing I do, and I go take a picture of like the 3 strongest, burliest looking crackheads because we went a crackhead fight rink over here. And I was fucking walking the other day, going there, right? And there's a huge crackhead, bro. I found a trophy crackhead. Like I'm putting $500 on this nigga to win every fight, bro. I'm spending my whole paycheck on this guy. I took a couple fucking pictures, sent them back to the sponsor squad. I got a couple of buddies. We go in on it, and I'll never fucking believe it, but I guess one of my buddies knew that guy. And you know who that guy was?
What was his name?
Guess who that guy was, bro. This big old guy I thought was a crackhead.
Stumped.
I was too because the doctor told me I was schizophrenic. But so there's nuclear missiles getting positioned in Iran, aiming right at the United States of America right now.
It's about to end soon, Doug.
I totally made that up, but if it was happening, I wouldn't really give a